After wasting almost 3000 rupees in 2 years to find the right shade and formulation of concealer for my shade and type of skin, I finally have found my favorite picks. Hi everyone, in this video I'll be swatching and reviewing my favorite 5 concealers. Starting with the first one, this is the Lakme 9 to 5 Primer Plus Matte Liquid Concealer. This concealer is available in 8 shades. I have this one in the shade 30 Cinnamon. This is a medium coverage concealer and one can build it up to full coverage. But in my opinion, it won't be a great idea to use a concealer this way. It will end up creasing, especially under the eyes. I have used this concealer both with and without color correction, and in my opinion, you can go without color correction if you want to keep the coverage somewhere in between light to medium. But if you want a medium or full coverage, I'll recommend color correction. This concealer gives a matte finish, yet it is hydrating. It has stayed under my eyes for good 4 to 5 hours without a setting spray, and it doesn't even crease. Without a setting spray, this concealer doesn't budge if I don't touch my face, but this isn't sweat proof or waterproof. A few splashes of water and the concealer is going to melt. But I really love this concealer because it gives a very natural matte finish, no cakiness and creasing even if I don't set it with a setting powder, and blends effortlessly. To work with this product, you can use your fingers or a beauty blender or a brush. All of these 3 mediums are equally great. The second one in the list is this Pack Take Cover Concealer. This concealer is available in 22 shades. I know it isn't sufficient for the shades of Indian skin, but I think it's definitely worth appreciating. The one I have here is in the shade 10 Honey Drop. This is a medium coverage concealer which can be built to full coverage, but again, I won't recommend it. I have used this concealer both with and without color corrector, and in my opinion, you won't need a color corrector unless you have intense discoloration, because this particular shade has a hint of orange in it. I use this concealer without a color corrector and it goes really well with my skin. This concealer gives a matte finish and it's hydrating, but if you have dry skin, I'll recommend using an under eye cream and prep your skin really well before using this concealer because it can be a bit drying for people with dry skin. Another thing to keep in mind, please be quick while blending this concealer because this sets pretty quick. This concealer does creases, so please don't forget to set this with a setting powder. Without a setting spray, this concealer doesn't budge or transfer even if I touch my face, and it does survive a few splashes of water without melting. Talking about the wear time of the concealer, this has stayed on my skin for as long as 6 hours. Now, to work with this product, according to my experience, I'll recommend you to either use a brush or your fingers, but not a sponge. What I've experienced with sponges is it gives an uneven patchy finish, which obviously none of us want. Coming on to the third one, this is the LOreal HD Pro Conceal Concealer. This concealer is available in 39 shades, which I feel is great. One will definitely be able to find a shade for themselves. The one I have here with me is in the shade Medium Beige. This is a medium coverage concealer which can be built up to full coverage. I have used this concealer with and without color correction, and without color correction my under eyes do look a bit grayish. So I'll definitely recommend color correction with this concealer. This is a pretty long wearing concealer. Without a setting spray, this has lasted on my skin for good 9 hours and it doesn't transfer much even if I touch my face. This does survive a few splashes of water and doesn't melt. This does creases a bit, so don't forget to set it with a setting powder. Now, talking about the finish of the concealer, it gives a hydrating finish, neither oily nor dry, and it blends easily. You can use your finger or a sponge or a brush as per your convenience. Wait a minute guys, Before I move ahead with this video, I just want to tell you the greasiness that you are seeing right now on my face is not sweat or any component of the product. The greasiness has happened because of the cleansing balm I'm using to remove the concealer so that I can swatch another one. I have been trying and failing in shooting this video since a week because of the fluctuating sunlight, and today this is my 4th attempt in filming this video. And why I am telling you all of this is because in all the sections of this video where I am specifically talking about the finish of the product, let's say I'm saying that this product gives you a matte finish or a hydrating finish, but what it is appearing on the screen is different, which is because of the cleansing balm. I request you to please have a little faith in my words when I'm speaking about the finish of the product. It may not align with the video on the screen, which I am extremely sorry about, but trust me, I'll tell you my true experience and I'm not gonna lie. The 4th one in the list is this Maybelline New York Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This concealer is available in 9 shades, which I think should definitely be increased because the formulation of this concealer is amazing, the best among all 5 of these. The packaging of the concealer is interesting, but to be honest, it's not that hygienic and clean. This concealer is a medium coverage concealer as mentioned by the brand, but for some reason I find the coverage of this concealer to be somewhere in between medium and full coverage. I have used this concealer with and without a color corrector, and I do not use a color corrector with this concealer anymore, as this has a peachish orange hint to it and it's sufficient to mark my discoloration underneath. Talking about the finish of the concealer, it gives a semi-matte kind of a finish and it's very hydrating. It blends very easily and you can use your fingers or a sponge or a brush as per your convenience. It works well with all 3 of these. Now, coming on to the wear time of the product, it's super long lasting. Without a setting spray, this concealer has lasted on my skin for good 10 hours and it doesn't transfer even if I touch my face. It doesn't crease under my eyes and it does survive a few splashes of water without getting removed. Now, coming on to the last one, this is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Full Wear More Than Concealer. This is an absolute full coverage concealer and it gives a hydrating finish. Even without a setting spray, this concealer doesn't budge. It's like Fevicol, it just sticks to the skin and provides a wear time of almost 12 hours. It's sweat proof, waterproof and doesn't even crease. It blends easily and you can use your fingers or a sponge or a brush as per your convenience. But the sad part is it's available in just 3 shades, which I feel is very disappointing. Luckily, I have found a shade for myself, but I do not think anyone deeper than my shade of skin will be able to find a shade for themselves. I believe if brands can come up with products with such impressive qualities, they can also work on their shade range, especially if they want to target and cater the Indian shades of skin. And let's hope in the coming times we won't have to struggle to find a shade for ourselves. That's all for this video. I hope this video will help you find a concealer for yourself. Do let me know in the comment section which is your favorite concealer and why. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.